Hey, I'm Bobby at I Like to Make Stuff, and this is a vintage flash handle. Does it look familiar? How about now? This is the piece of old hardware that they used to build the original lightsabers in Star Wars, and so today I want to take this old piece of gear and I want to turn it into a screen-accurate lightsaber from my favorite movie of all time, Empire Strikes Back. There's a bunch of stuff I have to do, and I don't really know how to do it all yet. Let's give it a shot. To figure out how to turn this into a screen-accurate version, I did some research, and luckily other people have done a whole bunch more research. So I was able to look at that, and I found some great photos and examples, and a really awesome PDF that goes through all the different versions. This PDF covers pretty much every scene in all the movies and shows all the variations between them, and it also has this awesome drawing that's kind of the prototypical, the best version of Luke's lightsaber, so I'm going to use these measurements to make mine. Now, unfortunately, I bought the 2-cell version of this, meaning that this section down here that holds the batteries is shorter than everybody else's. So the first thing I have to do is go remake this part longer, and to do that, we're gonna go visit Frank Ippolito.
Most of my machining knowledge has been from working in the film industry, so all of the things that I do are things that I've picked up over the past like 20 years working with machine tools.
So this is a boring bar.
Yeah.
Just to open up that hole bigger,
yep.
Right? This is something I do not have, but I definitely need to get.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So you get a much cleaner finish than those roughing passes with that drill bit.
Sure.
And that's how you really dial in diameters, is with that boring bar.
So this was awesome. I learned a lot from watching this.
A little bit.
A lot, thank you. The thing I still have to do is to take this back and cut these grooves to match so that it will fit into the rest of the handle. But we also need to go. Yep. Let's do that. We are back from California with this piece that was made by Frank. And I know it's a simple cylinder, but I actually learned a whole lot from watching him do this and him explaining his process. And that was really, really cool. But now I have to take this piece that he made, an actual lightsaber builder, and I have to cut into it and add some slots. These slots make it kind of fit into the rest of the flash handle, be able to twist into place and lock. And honestly, I'm not sure how to do this yet. And so I'm gonna spend some time trying to figure out how to cut these slots, how to spin this thing, and not ruin it. So I bought this thing. This is called a dividing head. And it's basically a lathe chuck, but allows you to spin it manually and be able to mill into something, rotate it a certain number of degrees, and then continue the milling process. So I think what I need to do is to chuck up my new piece in there, cut into it this way, and then rotate the piece while I'm cutting, and then pull the bit out, flip it around 180 degrees, and then do the same thing. If I mess it up, then I just have to get on my lathe and recreate this part, and the real tragedy of that would be that I wouldn't have a part of my lightsaber made by Frank Ippolito. Here's the piece. It's not perfect. Definitely needs some filing still, but I think the slot is right. You match those two up. So I'm gonna give it a shot for the first time and see if it goes in. Totally works. So the next step on this is a little bit more machining. I basically have to drill 6 holes around the diameter of this thing, evenly spaced, so that I can put the black grips on. So I need to drill small holes And then I'll have to go back and add a thread to those holes to tap them so that I can drive in little screws. But it's basically going to be using that same dividing head the same way, so we don't really need to spend time there. But just know that the next step is to add those holes, and if I screw it up, I have to start over on this entire piece. This piece is finished. Now this was the biggest thing I was worried about in this entire build, and I didn't screw it up. I got all of the different features cut on it, and I think it looks really good. I'm pretty excited. So now, the next part is to build the grips that go around the outside, and for reference, I actually have Disney's version of this lightsaber in addition to the PDF. So between the two things, I was able to figure out the profile that I needed, take measurements, and then I went to Fusion 360 to make my own. By the way, if you want to learn how to use Fusion 360, we do have an online course that can teach you everything you need to know. It's down in the description. But the point of this model is to be able to 3D print them on an SLA printer, nice and smooth. Then we're going to mold and cast them so we can make them out of rubber. Here is the finished 3D print. They turned out fantastic. I intentionally printed them a little bit long so that I can cut them off and have nice clean ends. I also printed 6 of these so I can mold and cast an entire set at one time. And before I do that molding, I need to sand off just a very tiny little bit of build lines on the top, so some light sanding, and then we should be ready to go. We're gonna pour the mold for this, and I wanted to point something out. These are resin prints, and oftentimes the resin prints will not allow silicone around them to cure correctly. There's a couple ways to get around that. One, we're gonna spray mold release on them, and that'll create a barrier on all the surfaces, but also we're gonna use a tin-based silicone. You have platinum and you have tin-based. The tin stuff has a better chance of curing around these prints. So if you're ever doing this with an SLA print, make sure you get tin silicone. We've got our mold. I think it turned out pretty well. In that mold, we're gonna pour some of this Task 14. It's a casting resin. It's not truly a rubber, which is what we want, but I think it's gonna work because it is semi-rigid. So it's gonna have a little bit of flexibility to it. It's gonna be black, which is kind of the important thing. I don't need very much. I'm gonna pour it in here. It only takes about 45 minutes to set up, and then we should be able to actually put this whole thing together. What I should have done is made one big opening at the top of this so that all of these were connected. So I could pour in, it would fill all of them together and then level up. Next up, I need to make this little piece that goes right here. On different scenes of the movie, there were different things used in this place, but the consensus seems to be that it was a circuit board that they cut off the end of some piece of hardware. And you can't find that anymore because I looked, and so I'm gonna have to make my own. I decided to try to etch a circuit board with that design on it because it's actually pretty easy to do. So the first thing I need to do is to copy this little design in Illustrator. I'm gonna make a vinyl stencil, and then I'll put that on the circuit board and etch it with acid. I have a bunch of circuit board material, PCB boards, laying around, but there's actually a bunch of different kinds, and I didn't really think about it until just now. There's some that have a white back, there's some that have a yellow back or a green back, there's some that are clear, there's some that actually have the copper on both sides, which makes sense because that's how you would often use them. And so I actually had to order one that has a yellow back because that's kind of the look that the lightsabers have. So I'm gonna trim off a little piece of this and then put the vinyl decal on here. And then to etch it, all we do is lay that in a bath of ferric chloride, move it around for about 10 or 15 minutes until all of the copper is gone, take it out, wash it off, and then when you peel away the vinyl, you've got the shape. Now, we just have to put this in a container, pour in just enough acid to cover it. And the cool thing about this acid is after you're done with this, you can pour the acid back into this bottle and reuse it. You can use it a whole bunch of times before it comes saturated with the copper, but there's a lot in this bottle, like way more than we need, so this will probably be the only bottle that I will ever buy. Now, all you do, swish it around. You just agitate it for 10 or 15 minutes, and it eats away all the copper. So So the test board that I did a couple of days ago, it took 10 or 15 minutes. This one's been going for 2 or 3 minutes and it's almost done. You can see that yellow board where the copper used to be, and that little dark area down there on the end still has to be etched away, but it's almost finished. There you go. That's awesome. I'll glue it in place, but it fits and it looks right, and that's really cool. Now we're gonna switch over to another part that I have to make, and this is the Disney Saber again. It's this little piece down here that holds the D-ring so that you can hook it onto your belt. It's kind of a strange piece because it has 2 different layers. It has a step at the bottom, and each one of those layers has kind of a scoop cut out of it. I think I know how to do it, but I had to go back and look at some reference because this is actually a part from another type of camera mount. I'm not gonna order that, I'm just gonna make it, so we need to go back to the Bridgeport. I found a piece that is actually the right thickness, which is pretty awesome, and so I just have to kind of cut the scoops on this face, and instead of this tiny little bit, I'm gonna go with one that's just a little bit bigger. So now I've got those curves cut. That looks really cool. So I just need to chop this piece off, and I'll probably have to take it to the grinder a little bit to get it into the right, right shape. Those pieces are on, this thing is finished, but can you tell which one's mine? Like with any prop, you can always go back and add things, replace things, and make it better over time, and I definitely plan on doing that with this, but I feel like this turned out exactly like I wanted. It's a screen accurate lightsaber, but I would also love to know what you think about it. Did I get it right? Let me know down in the comments. If you like Star Wars projects, we've got a ton of them, and I'm gonna put a playlist so you can go right to them and watch them right now, but first, it's time for bloopers. Thanks for watching. So to figure out how to turn this into a screen accurate? It's working though, I mean. If you like Star Wars projects, we've got a whole playlist of a whole bunch of other ones. So I've got this 3D model. If you want to learn how to Fusion 360. Wow, all right. We're gonna pull it. Ready?